This video is not for whales and dolphins. It's for you, because you are just like me. Average Like Gamer here, and today, let's get into Burnice.
So warm.
Not like that. Okay, I can explain. Okay, so if you didn't know, Burnice is in-game right now, and no, you can't fix her, but maybe she could help fix your ZZZ Zenless account, or maybe she might just be kind of fun to play. But let's start with some context. As part of Chapter 4, you get to play as her, which means that her kit is in-game for us to talk about right now. And don't worry, we'll break it down in a moment. So if you haven't played through that section yet and you want to experience it for yourself first, then add this video to our watch later playlist and come back in a bit. Before the kit though, let's talk about why you should consider saving your polychrome and getting Burnice over Caesar, or potentially waiting for another character. And I say it like that because Caesar is incredibly versatile, but by the end of this video, hopefully you'll understand why the character that I would choose in 1.2 would be Burnice. So why should you get Burnice over Caesar? The short answer is Anomaly teams or Fire teams. If that sounds interesting to you, let's talk. So firstly, let's talk about Anomaly teams. The longer answer is, if you want to run an Anomaly team that focuses on causing disorder, she could be incredibly useful. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, a disorder is additional damage that happens when two elements are mixed on the same enemy, resulting in the word disorder popping up along with extra damage. What do I mean by an Anomaly team though? For example, let's take a look at my account. I have Jane and I'm running her with Seth. Seth provides a good boost to her Anomaly proficiency, and my third character is Lucy, who can buff attack, and that also helps Jane. So the whole team is built around Jane dealing the damage, and this could be the same with Piper instead of Jane for an all A rank alternative, or maybe you got Caesar and you're running her instead of Seth, or maybe Grace in the main Anomaly spot, or maybe Piper and Grace with Seth for some disorder teams already. Essentially, you have or you like playing an Anomaly focused team. So that's the context, and here is where Burnice comes in. If you are running one of these Anomaly teams, or you have at least one well-built disorder character, I think you should consider Burnice. Why would she help? Well, Burnice is an Anomaly character that specializes in dealing off-field fire damage. This would mean that you'd be able to hit disorders more frequently, resulting in more damage, because Burnice can continue to apply the fire while she is off-field. Not only this, but she'd enable you to not lose that much field time, which is incredibly important on a character like Jane, and then you can continue to output lots of damage. So that's why she would be useful if you want to run an Anomaly team. Now, in terms of the longer answer for fire teams, Burnice can almost constantly burn the enemy as long as you manage her abilities properly. So on a Soldier 11 team, or maybe a lighter team, you may want to run her to enable the crit rate buff from Inferno Metal, because even if Soldier 11 or your fire damage dealer, whoever it might be, is off field, Burnice will continue to apply burn to the enemy, which means you'll have a pretty much 100% uptime on the crit rate buff from Inferno Metal. So if you want to run a fire damage team either now or the idea appeals in the future, then again, you should consider Burnice. Essentially though, we don't have a lot of fire in the game right now, so I'm not going to focus on this too much, just to mention it for the Soldier 11 mains and anyone who thinks that fire team sounds fun. So let's talk about her kit next, and then I'll talk you through why I decided to pull her over Caesar for my account. But before all of this is your reminder that you probably aren't subscribed. Liking and subscribing is the best way to show small creators like me your support, so please consider doing so. Thank you for all of the support so far. You guys are amazing. Okay, so onto her kit. Let's start with the passive though, because it's the most interesting. I'll read it to make sure that we don't miss anything, and I'll point out what it's talking about as we go. When Burnice expends energy, she accumulates heat. That's this bar here, up to a max of 100. She gains 1.4 heat for each 1 point of energy consumed. So as the energy goes down, the heat goes up. At 50 heat, halfway, she enters nitro-fueled cocktail state. When Burnice hits an enemy with a basic attack, mixed flame blend, EX special attack, chain attack, or ultimate, she applies the scorched effect to the target, which is the little flame that deals fire damage while she is off field. And here's the important part, until she exits nitro-fueled cocktail state. Mind-blowing, and we'll circle back to this. When other squad members hit enemies under the scorched status, it triggers the afterburn effect, expending 8 heat to deal fire damage equal to 290% of Burnice's attack and accumulate fire anomaly buildup. This effect can trigger every 1.5 seconds. For every 10 anomaly proficiency, burn damage increases by 1% up to a max of 30%. Damage from the afterburn is considered assist attack damage. Okay, let's talk. So the scorched effect does not go away after a certain time period, which means that you can keep it up on the enemy as long as you keep an eye on Burnice's heat and bring her back on field to build up more heat before it goes down. Now I do like that they keep this on screen while Burnice is off field, and now it makes total sense as to why. And in order to make the most out of this passive, it seems like we're going to have to build her with a mix of anomaly proficiency and attack, but the afterburn will cap at 300 anomaly proficiency in terms of passive damage. We'll go over the rest, but probably not quite as much time talking about all of it. Additional abilities, she needs an anomaly agent or same faction, and that means most of her moves, it increases the move's accumulated fire anomaly build up by 65%, which is huge, and extends any burn by 3 seconds, which is very useful for running her off field and for fire teams. So Burnice is not a character where the additional ability is like not that important. You'll want to make sure you're running her to get the most out of this. So the attacks then, basic attack, she has two versions, a normal one and the mixed flame blend when she's in the nitro-fueled cocktail state, and the latter will apply the afterburn effect. In terms of special, this is where she uses her flamethrower. Seems like you'll definitely want to make the most of the double shot in terms of damage, and if we remember the passive, as the double shot drains more energy, see the comparison, it'll help to raise your heat faster, so you'll actually want to build up a good chunk of energy on Burnice while she's off field, and then don't let the heat drop to zero, bring her back on and unleash the double shot to bring the heat up faster. Dodges seem pretty normal, as do assists. Her chain attack and ultimate are good in terms of multipliers, and her ultimate gives her a quick way to regen 50 heat, which would immediately put her back into the nitro fuel cocktail state, enabling her to inflict the afterburn if you let that drop. Not only that, but her ult causes a quick assist to be triggered, bringing someone else back on field while she extends the duration, so allowing you to double up on anomalies for a moment if you were using Jane or Grace or Piper. All in all, I think her kit is interesting. She's certainly the first of a kind, and she herself does not need much field time in order to do quite a bit of damage from off field. Honestly, I think she's pretty neat. So why do I want to pull her for my account? So my account has two main teams, a Jane team and a Juyuan team. Both teams are firing with 2 limited S ranks as on-field DPSs, and they are both supported by 2 A ranks who are good at doing that job. Now, S ranks are not always better than A ranks, but I'm looking for someone to make the team more fun and a power increase, and I think that Burnice fits the bill for the Jane team, as well as unlocking further future Anomaly comps, as she's the first off-field Anomaly player, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. Or hot, I guess. I also made a whole video called Waifu Over Meta, and I just think out of the current character Caesar and the next 2 characters after Burnice in Yanagi and Lighter, I just like Burnice the most as a character. She's a little unhinged but fun and sweet, and her design is super hot, guys. Come on, we're playing Zenless Zone 0 here, and holy ultimate animation. Now, for most people, I would say that Caesar would be the better pickup in this patch because she's more versatile and is likely more useful for more accounts than Burnice. In fact, she would improve both my Jane team and my Juyuan team. I just feel more excited about the possibility of a fun Anomaly team, and in order to represent the average low spend or free-to-play player, I'm only committing to 1 character per patch. Additionally, if I didn't have Jane, for example, I probably would have gone for Caesar. Now, the smart thing to do, even if you want Burnice, would be to wait for more information on Yanagi first, as based on the drip marketing release, she's probably the first of the characters in 1.3. So we should get more info on her before the end of 1.2, which is when Burnice will be running. Now, because she is an electric Anomaly character, and that is all that she's confirmed, she could actually compete directly with Burnice or potentially not. So it would be smart to wait for that before pulling on Burnice. Lastly, before we wrap up, I'm going to show some footage, as the first time I went through the story, I wasn't really testing the Anomaly build-up from off-field on Burnice, so I'll show this to demonstrate that it seems like it's pretty good. Obviously, there's not any info on this in her kit in the trial, but here's my reasonably well-built Jane fighting the same enemy for comparison of the Anomaly build-up. And considering that the trial Burnice seems to be okay built at level 50, I think it seems pretty good, but we'll get more information on this closer to release. So anyway, let me know what you're planning to do down in the comments below. Are you going to get Burnice? Did you blow it all on Caesar, or are you going to wait for someone else like Lighter? Another video of mine should pop up now if you're interested, and as always, pull responsibly and remember to like and subscribe for better than average luck on your pulls. Oh, and join Discord. Bye.